They found out that I could sing, so we always had like this like daily assemblies. Out of nowhere, the teacher's gonna be like, Hermela Moses, come out, sing a song. And I used to sing for them too. Really? And when Whitney Houston died, they're like, for the tribute, Hermela. I'm like,
oh my God, Whitney
tribute? Imagine, literally. And I used to like, I started going late to.
You're 7, like, girl,
can I sing? And the thing is, I ate it up. I was like, if, like, immediately, like,
please have me on that video.
I don't care. Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Firsties. I'm your host, Mila.
And I'm your host, Mela.
If you're new here, if you're a Firstie,
we're basically a safe space for first gens who dare to dream.
We like to laugh, kiki, argue.
Basically, two baddies with a mic.
With the mic. Yeah.
We ate that. I just know.
Actually, I'll agree with you. We ate that one. Okay. We ate that one. So this is a very exciting episode. We haven't had a guest in a couple
so
episodes.
long. Yeah, it's in a while.
It's just me and you yapping on this couch.
We've been yapping, honestly, but now it's like we chose to like, what's it called? Not even we chose. We were just like, I got tired of hearing her, and she got tired of hearing me.
You know what?
So we're like, I was trying to be.
Are we breaking up?
We got tired of each other. We're like, we need like, someone in the middle.
Right. Yeah. So we have Xara on.
Yeah.
Which is one of your kind of old friends, right?
Yes,
and you were able to connect us with her. She actually watches Firsties, which is insane. So I actually reached out to her.
Yeah.
And when like her content is amazing, and she's like, "Oh my God, I watch your episodes and I know Hermela." I'm like, "Oh my God!" Like, it's always mind-boggling when I'm like, "Oh my God, people actually watch our content."
No, literally,
like it is.
You know what I think? I think people in Thailand watch our shit, but
yeah.
Now it's better.
Absolutely, yeah. So what do we get into this episode?
We got into everything, content creation, our faith, what we care about, how we got into content creation, and struggles, honestly.
It was a really good, I knew she was going to deliver, but it was a really good
literally,
episode.
It didn't even feel like however long it was. Like, it just felt so much shorter. And it's like, you know when you like forget even like the camera's there when the combo is good? I was literally like this. If y'all only see my hair, deal with it.
Actually, this is a disclaimer.
Combo is that
if
good.
You literally see the back of our heads.
Literally,
it's because we were locked in for the YouTube viewers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as always, before we get into this episode, thank you for anyone who's listening, watching, viewing, subscribing.
Love y'all. Follow us on all social media. Link in bio for Firsties Corner. Go ahead and engage, ask us questions and everything, and let us know what you think about this video.
Yes. And then lastly, we also shot a Firsties Plus video as well, and you should be getting that as well soon. And also happy holidays. We're on the holidays.
Oh, for sure. Happy holidays, guys. Also, make sure to follow Sarah on her
on
channels.
Yep.
Yeah. It's going to be like linked in bio. And yeah.
And let's get into this episode.
Let's get into it.
All right, guys, so for this icebreaker, we have our lovely guest here, Xara. Say hi, Sarah.
Hey.
So actually, before we get into the icebreaker, as always, thank you everyone who's listening, watching, viewing, subscribing. I've been singing lately, and I literally don't know how to sing. I don't know why I'm doing that.
I'm telling you, we need to start a band.
We don't.
I've been saying this. Like, our harmonizing, it's getting better.
Yeah.
We're slowly but surely.
Stick to podcasting. Okay, anyways, so I want to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on the TikTok ban? Is it gonna happen? We're all content creators.
And how do we feel about it?
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I'm giving it to God's hand. I'm just like, whatever happens.
Right.
You know?
Best answer ever.
Yeah, but like, I feel like to be a good content creator, you have to learn how to adjust. So like, if something happens and you know how to adjust, that's how you could see success. So that's how I'm seeing it. So if it stays, I'll be so happy.
You ate that.
God's will.
You ate that.
How do we follow that? I'm over here
literally, I'm like, wait, I don't want it to go away, but
follow YouTube now. Like,
yeah, like follow my YouTube, Hermela. Plugging everything.
Did you guys all start? Like, so we're all content creators on this couch. Did you guys all start on TikTok or YouTube or? So like, that's why I feel like some people are, because the bulk of their following is in TikTok, and you could become TikTok famous in 2 seconds. YouTube
Yeah.
So I think that's where the like hesitation is for.
Yeah, I feel like TikTok, it's easier to get like engagement. Like, you know how like you cannot like have like 100K followers or whatever, but you can have like 1 million views in one video. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's easier for you to reach people. YouTube, girl, you gonna have to fight tooth and nail to even get like 3 comments. Yeah. Like it's crazy.
You get like a cult following from YouTube is what I'm understanding. Like people ride or die.
Yeah, it's like a real community.
Yeah, that's my favorite platform to post on. And that's where I started too. Yeah.
So you're YouTube. Locked in. You're like, girl, let's take my man.
No, but it wasn't for 4 years. I didn't see anything. It was the 5th year that 2023 that like everything went. Started growing, started getting like a community. So it's really hard. Like the first 4 years, it was consistent. Like,
girl,
it was
just, I have so many questions to ask you, but I also wanted to mention, like, do you guys think a TikTok ban, like, do we need it? Like, I feel like TikTok, like, what are the good parts of TikTok and what are the bad things of TikTok is what I gonna ask you guys.
I think the good is we get so much information. It's basically like our Google now. Like if I want to cook something, I'll go on TikTok.
That's true.
Easy meals,
especially if you're a visual learner. Yeah.
I think that's what's
like everything. Yeah, I think the bad part, obviously, doom scrolling, mental health.
That's true.
There's a lot, but I just think the good outweighs the bad.
For sure. I feel like you can find your community. Like your algorithm is like made for you. I feel like it's easier for people to find like their niche and stuff like that. Even with my friends, like me and Becca and Ruth, we're not on the same TikTok side. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like it's easier for you, whereas like YouTube, you're gonna have to search and find like the creators you like. Like I haven't had like new like creators that I liked because I'm like once you find them, you're like okay, like I'm just gonna keep on watching them. And, like, stick to them. Maybe that's why like the community is also like much better because they tend to like trust the person. And lock in. So I feel like it's easier for you to reach more people. So I like TikTok that way, but the hate is crazy too. Like if you're on TikTok's bad side, they're gonna come for your neck.
Yeah.
So
I've seen the craziest.
Think about it. It's like 13-year-olds. So like if someone said this is mid, imagine 5,000 13-year-olds saying you're mid.
Yeah.
You literally have
these people just follow.
And they have the time to respond and like say a whole thing too.
I think I've said this before in a previous episode. It's never the comment, it's the 16,000 likes to that comment. So y'all built a community.
Literally say with your chest, like
my hairline, like whatever the case is. That's crazy. I would know.
Literally. That's insane.
I was saying something also earlier where like Timothy Chalamet mentioned like we're in a different way we interpret art where it's not just the actual content, it's the reaction to the content is as valuable as the content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see that where he's like,
you look at the comments before you react.
Yeah. Like how do I feel about this? Let me get the comments, read some stuff, and now I feel anger, I feel annoyed, or I feel like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've been guilty of that. Like,
me too.
I'm more into the comments.
That's true. I think there's like a lot of groupthink when it comes to like TikTok. Like it's not even like their own opinion. It's because a bunch of people said it. They're like, like all the think pieces and everything. It's just if 2 people make think pieces, then there's like 7 more following them, like whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't like that part. But
last thing about TikTok, what side of TikTok are you guys on? Are you on the cooking side? Are you on the faith side? Are you on like weird facts to know? Like what's your algorithm?
I would say self-care. Yeah, because that's what I do, and then also faith, dance, because I also used to dance, and so like just that. Basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm definitely not on the cooking side. I wish I was.
But like, you're like, find me.
Literally. Maybe like lifestyle, faith for sure. Like all the, honestly, misinformation. Let me go back to the other question. Misinformation too. Because I've been seeing a lot of faith TikToks.
Yeah.
With like, it says like Isaiah 43:4 and it's not even what God said.
Yeah.
And it's literally just like like their own interpretation. Like for aesthetics. You know what I mean? But yeah, faith, lifestyle, and beauty.
I think mine is, I've been on this, have you guys seen like these girls just eating steaks? Have you guys seen that on, I don't know why that's the algorithm that's feed.
You're on mukbang?
No, it's just like girls, they're eating steaks while talking or whatever. And it's like, the comments are usually like, the steak is either well done, which is not the proper way of preparing a steak, whatever, it's your preference. Yeah. Or it's like raw. So they're like, that's still alive. Like it's either or. I don't know where I'm on that side of TikTok.
Do you watch like TikToks before you eat? Like, you know how some people like have to see a mukbang while they're eating or before they eat so they can feel like they want to eat that food?
That is crazy. Yeah. Well, I am definitely the type of person this is not good. My doctor actually said, not to get off topic, but he said like the reason why I eat slowly is because I'm watching something and I'm stimulated. He's like, just pay attention to your meal. You'll eat quickly.
Yeah.
Because I won't start my meal until I have my show prepared.
TV, right?
Oh,
Me too.
me
Which
too.
is so
Yeah.
bad,
It
guys.
is.
Yeah. But like eating in silence, I'd feel like a Rottweiler or something. Like imagine everything's quiet. I'm just like, just digging it. Like that's
I mean,
crazy.
you can listen to music or something, but like my food will get cold almost.
Oh yeah.
If I don't find the perfect
Yeah.
show, like it's
Perfect show,
actually that's not okay.
Yeah,
guys.
it's what type of shows do y'all watch? Or like, what do y'all usually watch? Is
Oh,
it
wait,
like,
what's your comfort food type of show? That's yeah.
I'm on YouTube. But
For me, it would be like
YouTube, yeah.
top 10 Netflix maybe. Like if there's something like a movie, but I would say that's like with my sisters or like a group. By myself, I'll do Girlfriends. That's like
Oh, I
very comfort
love
show for me. Yeah. Like I'll find Friends. Like something like that. Something quick so that I'm not sitting there for an hour. Like eat 30 minutes, get up. You have to be productive.
But how about you, Melly?
a vlog that I didn't finish. Like, I just go on YouTube and just like watch a vlog or something. Because with movies like Girlfriends, I'm not gonna stop after one episode. I'm gonna keep on going and be like, okay, then what happened next? Even though I've rewatched it like so many times. Like, it's such a comfort show. So yeah, I'm on YouTube mainly.
But you guys will watch a news show while you're eating? Like, I think that's psychotic.
No.
Because I have to be locked in.
Yeah, because you're not.
Like, I'm not a popcorn person at the movie. Like, I'm like, please let me lock in. I need to watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I watch something like The Office, an episode that I watched a million times. Yeah. Or Girlfriends is a good one.
I've watched Girlfriends like 3 times.
Yeah, me too.
I just had the Mindy Project on earlier today, and I love the Mindy Project. Like, those shows I've rewatched.
Wait, who's your favorite characters from Girlfriends?
Ooh,
Tony.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Tony.
Yeah,
I love Tony. I hate Joan. I feel like she's the horrible main character.
Yeah, someone told me I remind them of her. I'm like, how? But I think it's just how she looks. Because I'm like, how she acts. I don't know.
Yeah, Joan is. I don't think you.
Took it way too deep.
Yeah.
You're like,
huh?
Yeah,
I'm saved.
Yeah, literally, I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm. Like her and Lynn, I'd be offended.
Oh yeah,
if you tell me I give Lynn and Joan.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Tony, that's it.
Yeah, it's definitely when you ask that question, you're fishing for the one that you want, and then if you don't get the answer, you're like, wrap it up.
Yeah, move on.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk anymore.
Yeah. Uber's here. I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go. Okay, so we want to jump into this episode. We're gonna be talking about content creating. For all content creators. Also, different journeys. So you've been doing content creating for how long, Carmela?
I think like 4. Honestly, I consider like actually for real starting after graduating. So like a year or 2 years in.
Which is interesting because if you know, well, actually, let me get back to that. How long have you been content creating?
Like since 2019, so like 5 years.
Yeah, you're logged in.
Yeah, that's when I made my account.
Oh,
but like I posted a vlog once every 8 months. So like, is it really content creating?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but those vlogs are entertaining. She went to, you guys went to high school or college together. So that's the way I could like stay connected with one of my cousins or both of my cousins. I'm like, oh, there's
No, I miss those vlogs. I wish I vlogged more. That's the one thing that I'm like
in college.
Yeah, because but I was too scared. Like, if you see like my old vlogs, it's all in my room.
That's valid.
Yeah,
even just to have it archived, just memories would be like that would be dope. That would be dope. Yeah.
How about you?
I'm like a year in, but I created my account like years ago, and then I cared about what people thought, so I just like didn't post as much. Yeah, and I just didn't know myself enough where now I'm able to have like some fun. I also didn't know what I was going to talk about too.
Wait, you always wanted to do a podcast? Since 2019?
Since I was like 10 years old.
Really?
And I'm 28 now.
I thought like you came up with podcasts like recently. Yeah. You had the account since 2019.
I was like scared to like actually do it. I just pretended that I wanted to be a dentist or a doctor to make other people happy, which we talked about. Like I'm a child of a Haba Shop parent. You know
of course. Yeah.
Like, come on, let's be real. Actually yesterday my mom was like, she was like, I was thinking about the other day. I was like, what? She was like, you watch so much late night shows of like hosting Jimmy Fallon, Ellen. Remember The Real?
Yes, I love
like
The Real.
Yeah. Wait, is it discontinued?
Yeah.
Stop. And she was like, I didn't realize that you were kind of like studying it. Like I would watch movies or Disney Channel. I would just watch YouTube, like all the time.
Yeah.
And she's like, now I could see on your podcast, you kind of like are getting into your own thing. And I literally almost made me cry.
That's
I literally have to go to work. I can't do it. In the morning at breakfast, I was like, I can't do this right now.
Don't you love it when your parents also like see it or like accept it, you know?
Yeah. Like my mom was so hyped about her recent trip that she had.
That was
cool.
Insane.
That was insane. Girl, I literally was like, that had to be God because let's get back to it. But wait, how were your parents like reaction to
so
social media?
Since I was younger, I've always been like driven to do something. Like I'm the middle child. I'm the one that's like really, So like for the longest time, I wanted to be a physical therapist. The longest time. And so doing content creation, I knew in my head, I was like, I'm going to be a physical therapist, but I'm going to do content creation on the side because, like, I remember when we came to the U.S. and, like, the struggle we went through. So I'm like, the only way I can, you know, make my parents proud, what they want is, you know, physical therapy. So I was like, okay, let me, you know, they just want that doctor, you know? But I don't think I wanted it fully, if I'm going to be honest. I've always been a creative person. So when I first started, they're like, oh, this is cute. You know, there was like that type of reaction, like, oh. So like me and my sister, when I first started YouTube, I was a hair, like I only did hair. And then we started doing Habesha playlists. So me and my sister, we'll record like during the lockdown, and we'll just be singing songs to like, you know. And so like my parents love that. They're like, okay. And then I switched to hygiene, and they're like, what are you doing? Like, what is this gonna get you, you know? And then I was like, no, I want to do this full time. No, okay. So I did not tell them until the day I graduated, which was literally a week ago, 2 years ago. That's when I graduated college. And then once I graduated, they're like, are you applying? I'm like, yeah, I'm applying to jobs. I wasn't. I was just doing, I was editing everything. Right. And then like a couple months later, I was like, I already know I'm just going to do this full time, but I wasn't getting paid at all at that time. I didn't have no agency, management, nothing. I was just to myself. And so I was like, okay, like I'm still going to apply. And then my parents were like, what are you doing at that point? Like it was like a couple months after I graduated college, and they're like, you can't do this full time. Like it won't get you where you need to go. But they still supported. I don't know. It was out of like protection for me. It was like, if this doesn't work out for you, like you need to apply to physical therapy school. Like you're gonna, you know, there's like a time limit. And so I'm like, no, I think I'm just gonna do it my own way. But like, I think I had to break it to them. I was like, I'm gonna do this full time. And then once I got an agency, and then everything started like going for me, and they saw that, they were like, oh wait, like she knows what she's doing. So now they're 100% in. Like they're supporting me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Usually even like I feel like their fear or like their like denial always stems from fear. Like we don't want you to like, you know, be on like the bad side and like you regretting it later on or something. Yeah. So when you see like, oh, they're just trying to be parents, I'm like, okay, like I guess I'm not that mad.
Yeah, I think we'll understand once we have kids and we're on the other side of it.
For sure.
Like they just want you to be taken care of and make a decent living. And
and I feel like niche is so like, it's something that's so like different to them. Like they don't understand like what niche is. And that's the one thing with my mom too. Like my mom's like okay with me like content creating and everything. But before she'd be like, she can buy like a vacuum and be like, post it on your TikTok. Why am I gonna post like a vacuum or like, you know, like like I don't know, sunscreen. I'm like, that's not my niche. I'm like, okay, give me a wig, give me a buzz down, 30-inch, and then I might post it.
That is so real.
Now she's like, okay, now I get it. Like now I know what niche is, whatever. So
do your parents like 100%?
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I kind of didn't give them a choice. Like, I just kept on doing it. It's just like
that's so Harmela Coach. You don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice. But it took me a while to admit that, like, I'm not doing nursing. Because at first it was doctor.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and then I did nursing, and then I did HPEX. Like, I literally was just, like, demoting myself like as I go, like, in college. And then I think she got it, like, after graduating. I'm like, I just don't want to be. Like, I didn't care at that point. I'm like, I don't want to be a nurse. I don't want to be a doctor. Like, that's so, like, emotionally taxing for me that I don't think I can handle. Yeah. Shout out to anyone who's in the medical field, but that's not me. And then she just kind of, like, understood. And she's more of, like, your happiness over, like, you know, career and everything. So she was, like, a little more, like, beautiful. Accepting. But, yeah.
I was going to say, once my parents were like, yeah, go ahead, do it. Like, go ahead, do it. But do your parents ever give you pointers? Like the vacuum thing remind me of that. Like now, like I get a text from my parents of like, next time you should do this, you should do that. I'm like, this is hilarious. Oh, like know nothing about producing, nothing about journalism, literally. But they're like, next time you should do this. And I'm like, okay.
They think I'm like a journalist. Like out of nowhere, be like, why don't you make it? It's my grandma. She'd be like, why don't you make a video like, Yahagare and just see.
I've had that too. I'm like, that's not what I do.
Imagine from going from vlogs like Ethiopia, the country of like, like how am I gonna post that?
Yeah, that's so true.
I just gotta be like, babes, let me hold your hand. Like,
that's not what this is gonna be.
That's like with my sisters, because I have 4 sisters. Yeah, and the oldest one she grew up in Ethiopia, so like she's like almost like a friend to my mom, and you know, so like she would be like, you touch your face too much when you're talking, or like. You know, you do this and this. I'm like, have you done it?
Yeah, that's me too. I'm like, stay in your lane. Just be the mom, not the momager. Stay in your lane. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break, guys. We'll be back after these short messages. All right, guys, we are back after these short messages. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all the things. Now, what I actually want to ask you guys, because you mentioned this earlier, is can you guys recall a memory where like you knew you were creative, but you were playing the role of a Habesha kid? Let's just be real. Like whether it was like playing with your cousins or like that one third grade teacher who made you feel special, like whatever it was. But like, I think it's interesting to know the journey of like, because I think we're born creatives. I know that sounds corny, but I really truly believe that. But when was it like when you're like, oh no, I'm really into fashion, into makeup, because I feel like it happens younger than we think it does.
Yeah.
Wait, you said when we realized we're cosplaying, or when we realized we're creatives?
when you were creatives.
Oh.
But even though you didn't make the decision until you were in your teens or you're in adulthood, but like when were you like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, or like, oh, my cousins are doctors, but I know I'm not supposed to be doing this, but I'll do it for now.
So when I was 11, I was like, I've always been a creative since I was younger. But when I was 11, I was like, I want to start dancing. And so I went on YouTube. I didn't take a single dance class. I would be on YouTube for hours learning Matt Stefanina, JoJo, all those choreographers from LA, rewinding, learning. This would take hours. And then I'll be like to my sisters, I'm like, come to the couches. I have something to show you. And so I would like dance. And they're like, okay. They're like, it's getting better. And then, so I went to a school that's like, I don't know how to explain the school, but basically it's like a boarding school, but it's for children in need. So it's not this rich, expensive thing that my parents needed help when we first came. So they sent us to that school, but it's like 90% Habesha. And it's like, it's something I've never heard before, but I stayed there for 10 years. And my younger twin sister stayed there for, I think, 15. So since they were 3. And I was there since I was 8. So that school, like, there was connection, like, with the friends. They're almost like sisters. So we would come home for summer break and Christmas break. I would learn as many dances as possible, go back to that school, perform it to them, basically. Like, everybody be braiding hair in the back hall every Friday. The older girls will braid the younger girls' hair. And so they're like, where's Sada? Like, can you show us a dance? And I'm like, yeah. They'll put on their iPod, put on that song, and then I'll start dancing for them. So I would have like
cute.
This.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. Like,
I think that's when I realized, okay, like, I thought I was going to be a dancer forever. Like, I thought I was going to be a hip hop dancer, doing gigs, music videos. And then it was almost like, oh, I have something bigger than that. So I didn't want to monetize dance, but I've always been creative through dance.
So when did the YouTube channel start then? Or were you intending it to do like dance videos?
Yeah. So I've always wanted to do YouTube because I would watch these dancers on YouTube and I'm like, I can do that. But I've also loved watching like hygiene videos. So I used to watch like hygiene tips, like Sunkissed Alba hair, like curly hair routines and everything. And so I wanted to do that. I was just scared. And then, 2019, I was like, I want to do this full time. So I started with hair because I knew I was good. I know a lot about my hair. Yeah. So I was like, maybe others would want to know. And so I started with that. And I'm like, okay, I'm only going to do hair. And then it just started like,
progressing. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you,
Love
Mom?
that. So my mom's a singer. So I feel like I've always been in in that like realm, like art and stuff. It wasn't like, not shunned upon, but like it's not like something that's like a hobby. Do you know what I mean? Because like she wanted to be a singer. She said like, I don't want to go to college or to work like regularly. And then she did that. So I feel like I was always inspired to just do something like in that realm. At first I thought I was going to be a singer as well. Like my mom. Yeah. And I used to sing. Oh my God. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. My old elementary school like made me not like that anymore. Like they made me sing. They found out that I could sing. So we always had like this like daily assemblies. Out of nowhere, the teacher's gonna be like, Harmela Moses, come out, sing a song. And I used to sing for them too. Really? And when Whitney Houston died, they're like, for the tribute, Harmela. I'm like,
oh my God, Whitney
tribute? Imagine, literally. And I used to I started going late to.
You're 7, girl,
can I And the thing is, I ate it up. I was like, if like immediately,
Please have me on that video.
I don't care. But after a while, like I started like missing the assembly, and I'm just like, okay, like I want singing just to be like a hobby, not like a real thing. But then I just like always just watch like I love iCarly. iCarly is my girl, like just her whole thing and everything, and just like I was always into that. It was just a matter of like shaping it into like what part of art I want to like to like express basically. Y'all lucky I didn't sing. That's all I'm gonna say.
I didn't know you could sing.
I never sang like in front of people.
Really?
Yeah, I think like the only time even like Ruth and Miriam like heard me sing is like I thought they weren't home, so I was blasting it in my room.
Miriam told me before.
Yeah, and then she walked in.
Like,
and I was like,
and she's like, "Is that Mella?"
Yeah, I was like, I thought y'all were in Nova. Like they drove down. And I kind of like miscalculated, I guess. Imagine like hiding me singing just in the corner.
Who was in that room?
Literally. But yeah, I don't know why. I'm a little shy. I used to sing in church though.
Oh,
like
really?
I'm always like comfortable singing at church, but not outside.
Interesting.
Yeah. So come to church to see me, to hear me sing.
You still sing?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, at church I do.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. For me, I think it was play like in middle school. I think, and I just loved the like the late nights with the cast and then like setting up and the early mornings. Like I liked more of the sport of being creative more than like the show was fun, but I like the technical stuff. Like when we went to when we did a comedy show, we were like behind the scenes with some of our friends. Like me and her were geeking out over like the technical stuff, and like we were backstage and seeing how the green room runs and stuff like that. Like the stuff that the audience doesn't see, I'm really interested in. So I think that was it. And then really for me was That's So Raven.
Yes.
Like I loved her style.
I loved her.
She was her physical comedy. I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
She was always in sticky situations. Her friends were like, I just love, like, I was a That's So Raven girly through, and Zoe 101. But
I
like,
loved her mannerism. Like,
loved
her, yeah.
I love when the TikToks, you know how now you can watch like full episodes on TikTok?
Yeah.
Like part 1, part 2, part 3.
Yeah.
I just sit there and be like, watch. It's just so funny to me. She's like, she's that girl. She
ate
girl.
that up.
Yeah, she was. Okay, speaking about YouTube, so can you talk a little bit more about like, to be doing it for 4 years, and then, I mean, you're kind of in that journey too now as well, kind of.
Yeah.
Where like a video popped off for her and she got a good amount of subscribers. And like partnerships are coming through and vendors. It's just like, God is good. God is good, yeah. So can you talk more about like, so for 4 years, what was that journey like? Hermela might know this because you guys know each other, but I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah. So like when I first started, I was like, I'm just gonna do it just to, you know, if it works out, then it works out. Like there's nothing. Then once I really went into it, I'm like, okay, either I go full on into this or I don't do it. So I was like, okay, I started planning things. I remember like at the beginning when I first started, I did this. So I was an exercise science major because I was going to be a physical therapist. So I was like, oh, this is something I know. So I did come to the gym with me and I did like technical stuff. Like you could see the muscles, what works the muscles. I did the editing for, I think like a week straight, and then it disappeared. And I remember that day, like, crying, and my sister coming in, like, it's okay, it's okay. Like, I was...
What do you mean it disappeared?
Like, off of Final Cut. Everything I worked on, like, just...
How long did it take you, like, the editing?
A week. Like, so, like, every day I would be 4 hours just on my computer.
Oh, my God.
That would be my 13th reason.
No,
Literally,
honestly.
I was like, I was like, either I'm done with this or I get up and keep going. And I was like, why did this affect me so much? Like, okay, let me just keep going with this. And so... For 4 years, I would have the same. I remember the highest I would have was like 1,000, but it's not like every week thing. And so I was like, okay, like just keep going with this. Like I knew God had something bigger for me because, you know, when you're like, I'm not done, when you have that feeling of like, just keep going. And so I kept posting. And then 2022, like I remember my last semester of college, I was like, this is too much. Like, I'm not going to do this. So I stopped posting. And so I was like, I'm gonna do this. It's very inconsistent. And then once I graduated, I was like, let me just pick this back up. I started doing hygiene things more because my TikTok popped up more than my YouTube. It started working out for me. So I started focusing only on TikTok. And so I was like, let me bring whatever I do on TikTok that's working for me to YouTube. And so once I did that, I started seeing more views and like I started posting YouTube shorts. That's when it opened. That gave me more exposure to others and like, you know, putting them my videos on their feed and stuff like that. And then the one video I think that like really blew up, that it's like the momentum is still there till now, it was level up your hygiene video. And so it was just all the hygiene tips I know, because I love hygiene and everything about it. I've watched it for years. And
Amen.
like I was like,
and you like know everything about it, so you look like you like, you know, like it's like, oh, I trust you, like to even see like the product.
I know hygiene, and they're like their fingernails are up, like
no, but like when she talks, you can tell. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, like she knows it.
You see your passion about it. Sorry.
I think when I say like I have passion for hygiene, everybody's like, what do you mean you have passion? I think it's just self-care. Like caring, you know? And so like once I did that, it got 1 million views. And it was like a full 10-minute video. It wasn't just shorts. And so once that happened, I was like, okay, let me keep going with this. And so till today, like, you know, I get partnerships on those and everything. But I think the 4 years was like a waiting season for me, where it was like keep going, but I didn't know when it was gonna happen for me. It was like that type of, I wanted to quit so many times. I was like, for 4 years, like I have never had a creator.
Degree.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, but that 5th year, I was like, okay, this was all worth it. So like, I think me stewarding that waiting season, it really like proved it. And the 5th year, I was like, okay. I think it's like, you know, like when you plant a seed, you just keep going and you don't know when you're gonna like get that. Yeah. And so I was doing that, but I didn't know. So it was like, now I feel like with other things, because like, you know, I have other goals now too. I'm like, I'm in my waiting season for those, and I'm not gonna quit because I've seen God do what he did on YouTube.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like I think it's like YouTube and even content creation, honestly, just chasing your dream in general, it's like a really great testimony where like God would literally keep you until you're like equipped to like carry the gift that he's gonna give you. Because like imagine if this happened when you were like inconsistent or in college. Do you know what I mean? Like it would have been an easy fumble. But then he just prepped you until it was ready. And then now it's like obviously you know how to like, you know, pick up on it and stuff.
I was reading the other day, and I forget who said it, but it basically said it something along the lines, and reminds me of this conversation where it was, I think people think that God chooses people that are equipped, when really he chooses people and he'll equip you with what you need. Yes. So I think that's what really happened. Because sometimes we're like, well, why not me, or why me? It's like the fact that he chose you means you're equipped already.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like he spoke your name. But I think it's very inspiring what you're saying, but what you actually went through is like, that's not easy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Your flesh is going to like fight against you, your self-doubt, your parents, like
it takes grit.
It's a lot. Yeah. And same for you, Melly. You've been at it for like a long time, and you're finally seeing some like.
Yeah, but I feel like even with me, you know, like sometimes you just like, I can't even blame the situation when you like, I feel like as time goes by, like I'm more consistent or more like, you know how you said like, oh, like I'm either doing it full on or I'm not. Yeah. It was always like, if you're like in the middle, like in the limbo, it's like, who do you have to blame? Do you know what I mean? Like I can't blame nobody. No, honestly.
That's real too.
So like, obviously like, let's be real and also like be like, you know, like, faithful
come
or
on,
like hopeful.
Girl.
But yeah, I feel like this year though, that's what I was doing. I was like, it's just all or nothing. Like after graduating, because I was like, I don't care. Like I was even prepping myself. Like I was walking around I was walking outside with my camera, like holding my camera for like literally 2 weeks, so I can just like not be nervous to like vlog in public anymore.
Just holding, or are we holding it up?
Like like I'm walking with like my camera. Gotcha. And then whenever I felt comfortable, I vlogged like clips. So like a week in my life vlog, like it was like those little like mini clips and everything. But it's just like I had to make myself like be used to like, obviously people are gonna see you because you have the camera, but you need to be like okay with it. Yeah. And then after that, consistency was like, you know, coming a little bit or whatever. And yeah, I think it's like all that like taught me, like obviously you realize your mistakes and then you just kind of like change and just keep on pushing.
Yeah, keep on pushing. For me, and I don't even think I even told you this, Hermela, which is crazy that I'm telling you this on the podcast. What? But I prayed for someone like Hermela. Really, truly.
She knows I'm a crier and she waits until it's on the
I was really just thinking about it because like I just know that like it's really like I keep mentioning the comedy show, but when we were there, we were like really inspired because we didn't feel like freaks anymore. Everybody had a camera. Yeah. Everybody is, you know, a creative. So like we were all just there for the greater good of like this show. So like helping out who needs water, who needs whatever. But when you're in a family of medical professionals, you just feel like a weirdo. You just do, or you just don't feel as smart, or like don't work as hard.
Exactly.
Or I mean, of course, those are, you know, impressive roles, but this is hard work as well. And so I prayed for just to meet my village or like my community, people like you, people like all of our friends, right? And content creators. Because then I just feel like I'm going to work harder if someone's running next to me. I will always run faster if someone's running next to me. And so like she gets on me for not posting. I get on her for not posting. And then when I feel like, you know, my brain is attacking me, she's like, girl, you got it. And then like vice versa. Yeah. And it's just so much more fun to have. I basically want my own AMP group, if I'm honest. I really just want my own girl group. Literally. I want my own girlfriends, basically, is what I'm saying. So yeah, but if I gave up like a long time ago, then I probably wouldn't be here, like the podcast.
It's less harder when they're like people there, or like even people, you know, even like your success. It's like, because I know you, it feels like literally like it happens. You know what I mean? It can happen but when you see people like in fucking Wisconsin or some shit, like I don't know you or anything about you. Like, do you know what I mean?
I
so
used to think that because I didn't have anybody. Like I was the pioneer. I felt like from anyone I knew, I was the first to do this.
Right.
So it felt like, who do I ask? I don't know who to ask.
Exactly.
What camera should I get? I'm sitting down on YouTube for hours trying to see what camera that's good in my budget at that time. Like I remember, like it was just, I felt like I was editing. I didn't know what to do, so I would just be like searching for others. I couldn't ask somebody in real person. I had to go on, you know, I'm glad there's YouTube that, like, you know, I could learn that. But it's like, I wish at that time I was like, I wish somebody could do it. Like, I don't know how to ask anyone. Like when I first started my LLC, I didn't know who to ask. Like I was not a business. Like I'm not a business major. Like I don't know, any negotiation was so hard too. Like all these things is like new to me and I'm stepping into it, but I'm glad I did because I got to help others. Like I felt like God put me into this because he knew, he trusted me with it. And so like now I can help others with it, you know? But at that time, I definitely wish I did have someone, but I felt like that was like a part of my journey to like, now I know more.
Figure it out.
Yeah. How was it even like, I feel like, even like finding management and everything, like did you like do research? Like that's like, you know how people be like, they get like not tricked, but like
there's a lot of
exactly
agencies.
Like for like they use like how like naive you are.
Like, so for the longest time I didn't get it because of that reason. Everybody was like, watch out, they're gonna scam you, they're not gonna get you any deals. So how I got my current management is she actually reached out to me. I thought it was a scam at first because I'm like, at that time I was like, and she was like, let's just go on Zoom, we can talk. And I was like, okay. So I went on Zoom, and basically it's two sisters. At that time, it was a very new agency. So it's like they both quit their job to do this. And so she made it seem so comfortable. I was like, okay. It's like she's just starting it. I'm like the first batch of creators that they can have. And so I was like, let me try this. And at that time, there was no contract. So it was month by month contract. If I wanted to leave 3 months later,
amazing.
I never knew about month to month.
Like
month to month rent,
new.
But okay, gotcha.
So right after I signed with her, like for the month, this big agency reached out to me, and this agency has basically all my mutuals. So all the curly hair girls, all the beauty girls, they're all under them. And so I was like, oh my goodness, like this is my time. Like this is where everything's gonna be at. But I knew God didn't want me to go there because it was just hard to be there. And so it was like, wait, I have something for you, you know? He's like, just stay here. And so I was like, it's month to month. Like if I find something else. But I think the main reason what made me not want to go there is like 30%. And so once they said 30, yes.
Okay.
I was like, oh, that's not normal. Because usually it's 20. So that's, if anybody offers over 20, it's like, you have to question it.
Kris Jenner doesn't even get that.
No, literally, I think she gets crazy.
No.
And so, like, I think that was the thing because at that time it was like, I didn't know which one to go. So I've been with the sisters. Like, now it grew. Now it's like more official. But they have literally like tripled my income. And they're really good at what they're doing, what they do. Because, the older sister, she's really good at, like, she was in an agency for like 10 years. So she knew what she's doing. So I feel like joining this and it's very small, then that means they can pay attention to me more. They can see what I really like. So I think that's why I'm still there. So like a month ago, so I had this another huge opportunity. And so I was like, should I go there? And because it's, you know, like when you feel like you outgrew something,
Yeah.
So I was like, is that what's happening, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, nope, I'm doing this. Like, I've outgrown this place. And so I try to move from that to like trying to find a better opportunity, you know, elsewhere. But this is the clearest I've heard God say, if you're committed to something, finish it. Mm-hmm. So my contract does not end until December.
Okay.
And so I'm still, and not that, like, I'm still with them, and it's not like I'm dreading to be here, but I know this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, that's the only that kept going around. If you're committed to something, finish it. And so I'm still with them, and they still give me opportunities. Like, I have a couple opportunities in this next few months that's like very different. Something I've written in my, you know, a dream boards and stuff like that, vision boards and stuff. So I'm happy with where I am. It's just a month ago I really thought like this new agency that was like, you know, I've had a bunch of like agencies reach out, and so I was like, should I just go with them, you know? But I think this next year I still have hopes for it, but I think I'll stay with them. Like, I really like this agency.
I love how you're like trusting your gut and obeying too, because you know usually it's kind of like easy. It's tempting, you know, like how like I don't know, like, you know, like when you're like, let's say like fasting or doing something like right, honestly, you get tempted with something else. It's like, okay, like it's a better opportunity or like more money, but then in the long run it's you tough. Just don't know what it is. So that's really like applaudable, honestly.
Thank you.
That ain't me. I'm joking.
I was talking about it. Move to the left. That's what I'm saying. So that's more like of a testament to your character too.
Do you want to be like signed to an agency?
See, I have like mixed feeling like with that, because like I've seen creators with like, you know, like with agencies and like a lot of like, you know, they get a lot of good opportunities, but I've also seen creators that are not signed. Do you know Xara Beqele?
Yeah.
She's still not signed, and she's been 10 years in like the vlogging.
Oh, that's
I think
rare,
she has to be like her and like Aaliyah and all of them, like they're like one of like, you know, they're still up there type, and she's still doing it like unsigned and just like getting everything.
So that takes skills.
It does take skills.
You have to keep up with your emails and your
negotiation
and everything.
Very much. But I have issues with like, that's the one thing we also talk about like on the podcast. I can't like give people like trust control. People and just like give people control.
We've talked about this on this podcast.
Exactly. Even with editors, like Mila be like, oh, like I can't wait till we have like editors, and I'm like, I don't know about that. Like I can't just let you edit my thing. Yeah. So I guess like it's still like, I don't know, 50-50.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna have to like, unless it's like a management that I really love, that I really want, I don't know.
I feel like there'll be also a testing, because I think having editing is all about like productivity. Like when you're pushing out this content, you can't be sitting there 10 hours doing that. You have to shoot the next, and obviously shoot. You know what I mean? So it's about the overall business time LLC. I obviously see it, but I'd be surprised if she gets an editor. I think some of the big YouTubers still sometimes don't have editors, because they're like, literally my fans see it. The editing is that part of the actual.
It's like part of them.
I feel like
your editing is very
I do
like
management than editing. I can never see myself doing an editor.
Really?
That it
and you really
like
enjoy
anymore,
editing
you know?
too. You really enjoy editing.
That's what I'm saying.
Too,
I feel like I'm just like, it's no longer like me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to an extent.
But how, like, for me, we were talking about editing, and like Hermela loves editing. I had to learn to love it, but like there's an episode that's gonna come out. When this comes out, then it'll probably be out the next day. But where she edited, and she was like, "Do you want me to prove it?" I was like, "No, I can't wait to see how you edit that video. I'm excited just to see it all together, because I really like your editing style."
Thanks.
But I had to fall in love with editing. What is something that you guys as content creators throughout the journey that you had to kind of like fall in love with? Because kind of what you mentioned earlier, you were like a businesswoman, getting the LLC, negotiator, you know, all the things. You're not just the talent. So what for you guys was something that like maybe the audience doesn't know, that like this part wasn't that fun learning, or whatever the case is? Because it's not all fun all the time.
Oh, for sure.
It's actually a lot of downs more than ups.
Oh, for sure.
I think just technical stuff. I was never good with cameras. I was never good
with like,
I actually wasn't. I had to learn, you know, editing too. Yeah. But I think just like technical things in general, like the mic would be off and I would still be talking. I wouldn't know like what to do, you know? And so I think just that part, what cameras and equipment and everything, I felt like that was like thing on the road for me. I'm like on the other side. If I could just get through this, if I could learn, I feel like this would be easy. So I think that was one thing. Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's a good one. I'm trying to think. What did I have to like fall in love? Actually, it's not fall in love, but I guess like get used to. And it's like filming when I'm not in the mood. Like I just have like horrible, like social battery is down in 2.5 seconds. Like, I'm not really like, and like I'm good at planning content, but when it comes to like execution, it's like if I'm not in the mood, that plan's gonna get shifted immediately. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But now I'm learning to like do it like the day I say it or whatever, so I can, because I like editing more than filming. That's what I'm trying to see. Like I like just getting like a bunch of content and then just sitting down and editing, because I feel like it's just like, okay, I know, like, there's a storyline or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, like filming when I'm not in the mood. Still don't love it, but
which is so funny because you're also on the flip side. Like when she has an idea, like she'd be midnight doing like a video. She's like, I'm going to get up and do it now. I'm like, all right.
No, Midnight Chronicles. That's why there's like a series that I do. It's called like Midnight Chronicles. That's literally why I started it, because my social battery starts 12 a.m. So I'm like, that's the only way I can like. No one's bothering her. No one's bothering me. But like on a regular day when it's like I've tried to film a productive day vlog so many times. I'm not in the mood the whole day. Like my battery dies on like 12 p.m. What am I gonna do the rest of the day? Do you know what I mean? So that's I guess it's filming. How about you?
Was it editing? The editing. Like it's fun to do. Like I am excited to do it, but when I'm the only thing that is refreshing about it is that I'm genuinely focused. Like it's actually refreshing to focus all of your senses, everything on one thing. Like phone is away, there's no Netflix in the background. Like it's actually refreshing to get everything together. Yeah. But I will say sometimes like I travel a lot for work. I look like a freak on flights, like laughing at our own jokes, and like people can see it's me. So it's like I look like the biggest narcissist. You know what I mean? And like it's elbow to elbow. So they're like, and I'm just like, I promise you it's for like.
I feel that like at coffee shops, I'm just like looking at myself, or like me doing my makeup, and I have my makeup on right now. It's like it looks a little crazy, but I'm just like, just trust me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So as far as content creating, what are you guys like most excited about like in the future as far as with content creating? Like, are we thinking new type of videos, partnerships?
So I actually want to tap into acting. I used to do theater, and so like I want to do more of that, but so I'm working on something with that with my agency. So cool. To like, that's amazing. I want to start doing commercials. Like I want to start doing more of those things, because I feel like I want to like expand my brand. I also am thinking of like some business ideas to go off with this that like matches my brand. So those are some things like I've been thinking about like for the next few years, and working with like my manager. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, like, do you feel like, or have you ever felt that like you've been like tied down to a niche, or had to like pivot, like you have a vision, but then now that the audience is there, you have to kind of change the vision for the audience?
Yeah. Like
have you had like struggles with that?
Yeah, because I never wanted to really do vlogs since I was younger. I don't know. I just like feel like, privacy is
I love your edits though. Really? Even like your Italy vlog, like it was sick editing.
Come on. Hey, like girl, do more. So no, when I first started, I felt like my privacy was something that's so like precious to me. Yeah. And so I was like, vlogs, they're gonna know everything about me. They're gonna know my family. They're gonna know like my last name, like And so as I grew, with everything started getting more comfortable, I started doing more of those things. So I don't know, like,
just no vlogging. Oh wait, I was actually gonna ask you. You're the first person that I know that spells their name with the X. Is that how it's?
Oh, okay. So that has like a big.
I was like Xara. I was like,
yeah. So that's a big thing to my branding. So my name is Xara. Yeah. So it's Sara. But when I came to the US, they started calling me Sarah. And so I was like, I don't know who that is. Like, and it's crazy because whenever I tell this story to people, Xara is different than Sarah.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Sarah is the shy, timid, like middle school. Like whenever I hear that, like I don't mind like when people call me, but then Xara is like who I am. I think there's like this confidence.
Sarah's watching this, you're gonna be like,
I feel like my core.
Yeah. And so the easiest way to let others that never met me, or I don't say my name in every single video. So the easiest way for others who, new audience and like new supporters the easiest way to remember Xara is if I put the X, and X look like Xara. So I'd rather be called Xara than Sarah. So it's like, I think that's, and then once I put the X, that's really when like, I want that to be my branding. Like,
interesting.
that's like, you know.
The business woman.
Yeah.
Right. No, you should think 10 steps ahead. Right.
You guys gonna take that.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it. That's it.
No, the
I
reason
love
I was
that.
kind of freaking out is because like I like my actual name is Salome, and then my childhood name is Mila, and like I don't know Salome anymore. Like Salome is like the shy, timid, 4-eyed girl who went to like and like I'm a Mila. Like
I feel like Salome is like
Mila
grown. You know, like I feel like it's like a grown person's name.
Yeah, and it's the parents. My favorite. The name my parents gave me, which I love. So like anytime we're like in the local mall and I hear Salome, I know it's someone from high school. Like I know. Like literally, my parents don't call me that. Like nobody calls me that.
Yeah.
Now that you said that, because no one calls you Salome.
Like literally ever.
Yeah.
Even work guys. Like my boss.
Everyone calls me Mila.
Yeah, it's like my name is Salome, but like the email's a little confusing. But that's why I thought like I resonate with Mila more. And then Salome was like before I finally like accepted myself. Like Salome was who I wanted the world to know.
Yeah.
And Mila's like who I actually am.
Yeah.
Like,
I love this.
Yeah. Hermela was like,
I love the
"Been me,
persona. Been me. No, one thing though.
Yeah.
I'm not Hermela with one L. That pisses me off, actually. I've never spelled my name with one L.
Yeah.
That's just it. I don't do the Xara or Salome or Mila. It's not that far, but just add one more L in my name. That's it.
Okay, the last question I actually had before we wrap up is we kind of talked about faith with our kind of journey.
For sure.
So we kind of answered this before, but I think it's a value to kind of talk about. But throughout your journey as content creation, like how has your faith played a part? Both of you guys and myself played a part in your content creation, but also just your life. I think for anyone who's listening to this, you could take content creation outside of what we're talking about and apply literally whatever.
Oh, for sure.
You want to be an engineer, a doctor, a dancer, whatever it is, right? So how has your faith played in this role of you achieving your dreams and all that?
I feel like I've always added, like, I've always represented in a way, but like I haven't directly said it when I first started my YouTube or something. So I rededicated my life 2019. My freshman year of college. And so that's when I got baptized when I was 10, but then rededicated when I was 19. So once I was 19, I was like, I don't want the college life, nothing, all of that, going out, everything like that. Like I just want to go the narrow path. So I think with that, I wasn't fully like, this is my faith and everything on all my videos. But I think the year that I learned what it means to do my content for his glory was this year, actually. It was like, is it really about me? Like, it was like, if others don't know I'm a follower and a believer, I don't think I'm doing the right job. Like, it just doesn't. And so, like, it doesn't have to be me, like, saying, oh, Jesus is king every single video, but it's how I act. Does it match what I post? Does it match what I say, what I do, and, like, how I am, how I carry
present
myself.
Yeah.
And so I think this year's when I learned what does it mean to do content for, so that his glory is shown. So that's something that I learned. And so like, I just posted 2 days ago, I posted me going to the Acts 242 conference, like, but every video, especially like the tips, like I do a lot of like level up your hygiene, like level up your hair care. I try to incorporate that. And the number one thing, how I do that is stewardship. So I talk about stewardship and like, today I posted a video about cleaning your home. And it's like, I'll be like, it's also stewardship. How can God trust you with what you have now? And how can God trust you to give you more if you don't take care of the things you have now? So let's go clean, Yeah. And so like, I try to incorporate those things because I'm not a faith-based creator like fully, but that's part of my life. Like you can't just take it out of
Right.
Yeah.
I love that though. Cause like, I feel like the one thing that like kind of strays people away too, like when you're like Bible thumper, like imagine like you're kind of like questioning is like believe, like someone's like, like just pushing it. But when you just like, what's it called? Merge, like just regular like lifestyle and just who you are with like, your faith. It's like, it just meets you like halfway in a perfect way.
Yeah.
But I think.
Yeah, how's faith played a part?
I feel like I got closer to God not because of content creating, but like I feel like that whole journey too just taught me to just like trust God, because even in something as simple as like the opportunity that I just got and everything, it's like it had nothing to do with me. So I was like, okay, like let me just do what I'm doing, and then just God would just, like he will like lead the
you
way,
said that
basically.
a million times when you actually
I
got
know,
the
because
news.
I just never want it to be like any other way. And I kind of agree with you too, like basically using your gifts to glorify God, because it's not really like, it's a gift because you're supposed to like give it to others and just like, you know, show God through it too. Yeah. So that's the one thing I'm trying to like incorporate with my content when it comes to I think I just actually recently made a video talking, just ranting while I was doing my makeup. But you know, when you're like making content, you're like, oh, I want to build a community, I want to create a community, like I want a community for me. But then I saw a Jackie Hill Perry video, and she was like, oh, you're already seen and loved and everything. Wow. And it's like, you already have that community with God. And like, he's already like, you know, there, accepts you, sees you, whatever. So you should, instead of looking for a community, you should be the community for the people, so they can, you know, come and find you. And basically, so I've been learning how to like incorporate him, but also trust him throughout the whole time. Yeah. But that's what I learned. How about you?
I'm like, how do I follow that up? No, for me was more so like just getting out of my own head, and then my faith gives me confidence to do this type of stuff, truly. Because like really, it's like these cameras turn off and stuff, we go home, and then you get self-conscious or self-doubt, and some weeks are amazing and we're getting engagement, which sucks, is that's how we measure it, but we're just human. Yeah. And then other times it's not, and like I'm like, what's the point of this, honestly? You know what I mean? Oh, for sure. And then I have to remember, why am I disappointed? Because is it for me or is it for him? Yeah. Right? And sometimes that my brain can confuse that sometimes. So mine, one was with my journey was the confidence, but then also just I know myself. When I was younger, I was, just because truly our culture, I was obsessed with being successful. Like, that's why we all wanted to be medical professionals, because our parents was like, these are the 1% of the world, right? Like, yeah. And we saw how our parents struggled, and we never wanted
security too. You wanted to be secure. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I was obsessed. I read every book in the Sun. I was obsessed with like the 1%ers and how they became successful and why and all that stuff. And so I think that what's interesting is that when I started to chase my dreams, I somehow understood that like it's only I'm only capable of doing that if I have Jesus close to me, and I'm, because he never moves. We're the ones that move. Oh, for sure, yeah. And so it's the confidence, but also like truly, this is not possible at all. Truly, it's just not possible. The way that we met, the way that you guys came, like all of it, it's just not possible without him. And then now I'm actually in a season, like probably like last week, like our faith journey episode that we put out, where we finally, like, we've talked about God and stuff, but we actually talked about our journey, because I was a little bit insecure about, like, I don't want to say anything that I'm not supposed to be saying. Exactly. I'm still reading my Bible. But then it's understanding that, like, where you are now is enough. Yeah. And what you're doing, what I'm doing, there's going to be someone who sees us and can relate to us. They're not going to relate to a pastor or to whomever who maybe on a different journey than us, right? But being able to like, oh, I like curly hair, and then you kind of like almost spoon feed your lifestyle. Like you kind of what you mentioned, like be the example rather than like read your Bible, do this. Because I'm not going to listen to that. I'm just not. Yeah. I'd rather like listen to you and then do your hair and then talk about like your faith journey. And I'm like, oh, that was like inspiring. It's like you guys are doing that now. Yeah. Like, come on, you're trying.
Yeah. And I just realized like there's answered prayers at every point. Yes. Like in like, you know, in your season, like at some point I was probably praying, I was definitely praying for like 1K subscribers. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I just want to get that, like hit that threshold or whatever. And then now that I have, I'm like, okay, like 10K, but I'm like, babes, you prayed and God got you through 1K. Like, just wait. It's like every, like, you know, it's like a walking up the stairs. Like, you're not just jumping to the
It's a
top,
crazy thing
basically.
to think about, that you're living in your prayers right now. Yes. Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Like, if I think about it too much, I'm like,
let's cut these cameras off.
Right now. But
I think that's a great time to end the episode. We had so much fun with you.
I know, I love this. Yeah. So much fun. Oh, do you have any like message you want to like tell people who are like, you know, in their content creation, anything?
I would say if you're starting, like if you're past all of the, you know, I don't like, you know, I'm scared what other people will think about me and everything. I feel like building your, as a content creator, building your, you know, channel or anything, do it little by little. I feel like that's the best way to get your community. And then like, that's how you create it, because, you know, doing something small, like you just keep adding, and it gets to a point one day where it's like, you built your For You page, brick by brick. Like literally, that's what it is. And so just keep going, and I've done this for such a long time, and I've seen by staying consistent, I know a lot of people say this over and over, but staying consistent, really putting your passion, knowing what you if you really want it, going for it, and just don't stop. I've seen so many things of what God has done and where he has put me. So keep going.
Amazing. Keep going, period. Yeah. Taking notes right here. I'm saying, okay. And then
we're like, send it.
Brick by brick.
And that is it for the episode, guys. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yes,
seriously,
thank you for
we had so much fun with
Thank
you for both
you.
videos. As always, thank you so much for listening, watching, viewing, subscribing.
Follow us on all social media. Engage with us. Firsties Corner, everything. Link in bio.
Yes.
And yeah.
And we'll see you in our next episode.
Bye guys.